Peace, y'all. It's your big sister, Coach Sherry Babette, coming to talk to you today about the beauty of an epiphany. The beauty of an epiphany. What's an epiphany? Well, to put it simply, an epiphany is like an aha moment. It's like when you suddenly realize something and you're like, oh, I get it now. Okay, so with women, the beauty of an epiphany is that we remember that we are like superior beings and that we can do just about anything we put our minds to. But sometimes we find ourselves in a really low place. And the reason why we are in a low place is because we forgot something. We forgot who we were in God. Okay? And a lot of times, to be quite honest with you, it's easy to forget. Because if we don't consciously seek out a voice to remind us, we're not going to hear it. So we have to search for it. And a lot of times we search for it in the wrong places. And we find a false sense of validation. You know, so if a guy is like, yo, come here, shorty. We're like, oh my God, he told me to come here. He loves me. Yeah, right? It's ridiculous when you hear it. But when we think about our actions and how easily we succumb to stupidity and we settle for mediocrity, you know, we forget that we are God's favorite child. And if we walk around like we know we're God's favorite child, and all of us can be God's favorite child at the same time, don't get it twisted, he's big enough for all of us, then we will see our lives change in dramatic ways. And it doesn't take long. We have to have that epiphany. And unfortunately, like I said, we have that epiphany, that realization when we are broke down. But we don't always have to have that realization when we are at our rock bottom. We need to have that realization every morning when we wake up. And just wake up with this, oh yeah, I'm God's daughter. And he loves me. And even though it's hard, I can do it because what? I'm the bomb and I'm fly. Yeah. So I want us to think about some of the things that we have done to get us in a backwards motion, and think about why we ended up in that backwards motion, and simply say, okay, I don't want to go backwards anymore. I'm going to move forward. The biggest aid in helping us to move forward is watching what we eat, watching what we consume mentally, visually, auditorially. I hope I said that right. Right? I heard a wonderful lecture this weekend by my big brother, Ishmael Muhammad. And, you know, he's just talking about how we are being fed a lot of negativity. And then ultimately we believe it because we just constantly consume it. So if we, and not to knock my brothers and sisters on Love and Hip Hop or any of these other shows out here, but if you look at these shows repetitively every time they come on, and then you watch the marathons, and you kind of get sucked into this lifestyle of or this wanting to be in that lifestyle. And it's unhealthy. It's women being degraded. It's women being materialistic and being subjected to disrespect by their female friends and their male friends. So there's very little positive imagery other than they're getting a check. You know, so the fact that they're being employed, okay, that's a good thing. But at what sacrifice? What is the cost? What is it costing them? They're making money, but they're losing their self-respect, right? They are negatively influencing millions of young ladies and young men and causing unimaginable harm. And they may not even realize it. And they're going to come to an epiphany after they're out of that arena. And they're going to see, oh my God, this is what I perpetuated. This is what I encouraged. This is what I disseminated through the television. And now people can walk around with it on their phones. And so it's just a massive onslaught of negative imagery, but it's being decorated, so they have their hair done and they have nice shoes and nice bags, but it's them being called, whores and bitches by each other and by men, and it's just not good. It's not good. And a few of them will come up with a record or two, but then we see where they are a few years later. They have changed. They have decided, I don't want to do that anymore. That's not for me. That I'm out of that life. But what about all those children that were impacted? What about all those little girls that watched it and aspire to be just like them? So now they're out in the world doing what they think is going to make them successful, and it's not. It's going to get them to their own personal rock bottom, and then they'll have an epiphany, hopefully, right? So if you are at a rock bottom place, pick yourself up. You can't wait for somebody else to do it. I tried waiting for somebody else to do it. It didn't happen. I was too heavy. Figuratively. But I had to do the work. I didn't want to have to do the work. I wanted somebody to do it for me. But it doesn't work like that. I had to identify what were my problem areas. What did I need some discipline in? What did I need to work on? What did I have to change my perspective about? And then I had to actually do it. Right? Somebody can't come to me and say, you need to change your perspective, and then boom, it's changed. No, that takes a lot of introspective thinking about what's going on the inside. And you can't do that if you're constantly watching the television and looking at somebody else's, Instagram all day and worrying about who had a baby by who and who got these Jordans and who got this whatever. I don't know. But anyway, you get the point. So it's time for you to have an epiphany, okay? And you can have an epiphany every single morning when you wake up. And what is the realization? That you're God's favorite child. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for now. I'm happy to be talking to you again. It was a few weeks. And until next time, thank you for tuning in. Peace.